Hi, Murray Robertson here. The organisers of yesterday's big groundswell protest in Gisborne against the government's proposed agriculture emissions pricing scheme were thrilled with the turnout and with the public response. More than 200 vehicles and several hundred protesters, both farmers and farming supporters, paraded into the city from Matawhero. The Groundswell Gisborne organisers, Maurice and Annie Flood, said it was a fantastic event and they feel they got their point across firmly that farming as we know it will be under serious threat if the government's proposals become law next year.
It will cut sheep and beef farmers' production by 20%, and that's enough to drive some farmers broke.
The procession participants made plenty of noise, vehicle horns tooting as they went down Gladstone Road to the Grey Street corner and back to Matawhero. They had their theme, "We're not gonna take it," loud for everyone to hear as they went by, the words of the song by Twisted Sister blaring out. The Flood said they got so much support from people tooting in other vehicles and waving out with thumbs up on the footpaths along the route. And they said we also had some members of the public display placards supporting us, particularly at the Grey Street roundabout. It really was heartwarming, they said, to see the level of community support. The Flood said it was obvious the support is both urban and rural. We're a country town, they said, and people know that if farming suffers, the whole community suffers. East Coast farmer and poet Graham Williams told the protesters before they moved off that no district in the country would be more significantly affected by the government's agriculture emissions pricing proposals than Gisborne East Coast.
And for a place like Gisborne, with 20% of the sheep sector going, and it'll be bigger than 20% in this region, it will devastate Gisborne, Wairau and all such towns.
Some young farmers spoken to said they were very unhappy with the changes the government has made to the pricing structure of the emissions trading scheme and how it will impact on farmers. They were also worried about what it will mean for future generations of farmers, particularly their children, when they want to go farming. Storm Baines-Ryan said she took part in the protest for her family's future. If the pricing scheme stays the way it is, it will be very tricky for them to stay on the farm, she said.
We've just purchased a farm. If these come into law, then it's going to be really, really tricky to be able to stay on the farm. I'm concerned about if it's 20% less food that we're producing, which 10 million people are we not going to feed? Which 1 out of 5 farmers is not going to have a job anymore.
Fraser Tombleson said farmers had dragged the New Zealand economy through the tough COVID period.
Without tourism, our economy was buggered really, so, why they now turn around and kick us in the guts, the next generation, if the whole bloody country's covered in pine trees and potentially some of them not going to get harvested, what does that leave our future? It's bloody scary.
Chrissy McIntosh from Here For You, the mental health awareness group, said farmers were under so much pressure now.
We have one of the highest rates of suicide in the country. Our rural boys represent one of the highest statistics, So that's why I'm here today, and I see it on a day-to-day basis, the impact of pressure and work stresses.
The Flood said Groundswell will now await the government response to the protest. If we're not happy with the government response, then it won't be the end of the protesting. Next time we'll try harder, they said. Right now we've made a statement about how we feel, and now we need to see how the government responds. The Floods have thanked all those who took part in the protest yesterday, and they've thanked the public for their support. Police led the protest procession into the city yesterday, and they kept an eye on it. And in their words, there were no issues that we were aware of. Murray Robertson for the Gisborne Herald.